Today we're going to talk about one workflow and many possibilities. This workflow uses a component, flow to surface, that uses a target surface, which is, this is the reference surface down here, to a target surface up here, which is in here. So you have a target surface and a reference surface. What you produce on the reference surface gets flowed to the target surface. You can use different methods to create the object or B-rep on the reference surface. In this particular case, we're using a set of curves that we've created. You can watch the other videos on this and it'll give you more details. Excuse me. And it produces a B-rep at the end, a closed B-rep that is flowed from the reference surface to the target surface. Now, we're going to use this workflow to create many different styles of ring. In this particular case, we're using a loft or a extrude of a closed curve to create the B-rep. But a more efficient way of doing this is using a single curve as a reference curve on the reference surface and then sweeping it. So let's take a look at that. And you get this setup where we're using a sweep, 7-point sweep, universal profiles at the different points on the 7-point sweep to create the closed B-rep that we are flowing to the surface. These are controlled by excuse me, a single reference curve. Now, because you do it this way, you can change the shape easily of the finished piece, which makes it much more parametric than if you're making a B-rep from a closed curve. This allows you to quickly transition from shapes. Instead of going in back and filleting the edges, you can use a smooth square or a rounded smooth square, which has got the edges already cut off, if you like it that way. Now, because this is a workflow, let's change this and see what other things we can have. We go File, Open. Now we're using it to create a stone ring. In this stone ring, each of these groups represents the stone. So here you have the marquee. You can change it to a cushion very quickly. Emerald cut in seconds. If you want the small stones to be not rounds but cushions, how about princess cuts? You can change the claw location, as you know, as well, easily. Okay? So now you have one ring made that's completely parametric. Now, we're using the sweep one method using this reference curve. So let's find the final one here quickly. Being recent. Now we have this reference curve in three-dimensional space, because the finished curve in three-dimensional sweep or three-dimensional space, because the reference curve over here is in three-dimensional space. Let's bake this let's touch this. Let's reset this. And now let's see what happens when we take the points. You can live edit. Your finished curve. Now, because we have this done in a sweep, we can change the profile curves again. Now, by doing this, we can then add diamonds onto this shank as well. And the versatility is endless because we have a different head placed in here. We can change this head, swap this head out for a bezel. But right now we have the fancy foreclaw setting, and we have a cushion, but we might want a oval. We might want a emerald cut. All different styles. And remember, because this is parametric, we can change the finger size. And everything changes. In this particular case, we have a bridge curve as well that we've created. That's the bridge curve right here, this straight line. And it is also parametric. We can change the thickness of it. We can change the height of it. We can change the shape of it. Whatever you prefer. So this shows you how this work method, using a sweep 1 component or a 7-point sweep to create the B-rep that you're going to flow from the target surface to the from the reference surface to the target surface, works well. These are just 4 setups using the flow to surface, but completely different parametric rings that are outputted at the end. Thank you for watching.